History Month, and we are going to be celebrating phenomenal women all month long. And this is just a time for us to celebrate each other and celebrate ourselves and all the work that we've done in TrueStar and outside of TrueStar. And so, you know, there's this whole notion at times that women can't get along, women can't work together. And I think we defied that.
Right. Against all odds.
We are like 10 years in and we've been able to, you know, not let things get in the way of the mission and what we're trying to do. And so what do you think about women and women working together and just supporting each other?
So for me, it's just like what you said. There's this notion that women, females just cannot be even in the same room together, let alone work together for, 16, 17 years. Like, this is like a legit marriage. Like, but I think that it's beautiful. It's wonderful when women can come together and show support for each other and work together for one common goal. And our goal just happens to be empowering young people. And that includes empowering young girls of color. And I think that it's so important that we understand that, you know, whether we like it or not, we're role models. And we're helping the next generation of young ladies and young men, but young ladies for today's purpose. The next generation of young ladies be able to be, you know, bosses, just go out and kick ass. Like, you don't have to be afraid to do anything because we're in a man's world. You know, I think that it's so important that we are able to share our journey with young girls.
Exactly. And I think, you know, being partners, I think, like you said, we show other young women and young aspiring entrepreneurs that you can work together. You can
work
together. And it is easier doing it together than doing it alone. You know, there's an old
yes.
You go farther together than you can alone. And, you know, I think, you know, just playing on each other's strengths. And, you know, when I had 3 babies and 5, I understood that and supported me through that. And we were still able to keep the organization going. And just having that person to like just be on this ride with you is just a really amazing thing. And so, it's, you know, during this month, just celebrating women who, like you said, who don't let fear get in the way, and who, you know, really, and encouraging others who have let fear get in the way.
Right.
Keep going. And we've had a lot of, I won't say a lot, but we've had a few scary moments in our we're about to fall apart. But you know, we're able to keep it going and keep it moving. And hopefully we'll hand it off to, you know, at some point to other great leaders, maybe women leaders, color, to take the organization further than what we've been able to do. So, so yeah, that's amazing. Is there anything like memorable or that stands out to you about this journey as an entrepreneur, a nonprofit executive, and just a community activist, you know, or community, you know, youth development person?
Honestly, the most memorable moment was very, very early on for us, is when you came and you sat in my living room and you was like, look, I think we need to do something with TrueStar. Because when we first started, we had no idea that, you know, it would turn into what it's turned into. But a couple of years in, it was like, let's go ahead and formalize this. And I was kind of like, okay, you know, I'm game, you know, I'm down for whatever. And we had no idea what we were in for, but we were just like, look, let's just bet on ourselves and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that you came and sat on the black couch in the living room, because I had no idea that moment would eventually allow us to be working for ourselves while we're doing something so meaningful for the community. And it's such a fulfilling journey that we've been on, to be able to impact so many young people and impact adults and parents and educators and so many people that we've been able to work with, it's just been amazing. So I would definitely say my most memorable moment was kicking it off. Officially kicking it off.
And I appreciate it's like all my wild ideas that I'm like, Na-Tae, we should do. Like, okay, let's try it, And so I really, really appreciate that because I know, how I am, and I'm like, like sit down, definitely, have supported all of that, and like, it's just amazing.
You got to try it. If you don't try it.
And it's like when we met, it's like I had already admired you from afar with the events that you were doing at the South Shore Cultural Center.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's so cool. And then when you approached me and was just like, yeah, do this. And I don't even really know her.
Right. Like, first of all.
It's like I sometimes need that push of, did you do it? And do you got it? I think just holding each other accountable in that way, but compassionate way. It's just been, it's really been dope. I don't know if we ever will, but I think we could like literally write a book about.
Right. And, so many people say that all the time. And I really just feel like I wouldn't even know what to say because we just in it every day and don't even think about what it is that we're doing. Like, what's the first step? Sit on the black couch. I don't know.
The first step is to start.
Right.
Like starting is the hardest part. And once you get started, you just keep going and you don't stop. It's like,
right.
And that, I'm going to really commit to this. And so I don't know. I'm like thinking of a really memorable moment. I think, I'm going to pick something a little bit more recent.
Okay.
Whole Google thing when we got the Impact Challenge winner, because I think, like kicking off and deciding to do what we're going to do and then fast forward these years and be, being awarded by a company like Google. And I think what makes it important is all the other organizations who were awarded were like huge organizations.
Right.
We were the only like small organization next to these big, multi-million-dollar organizations.
Right.
It was just a testament to, where we've come and then also where we're going.
Right.
This big thing now, but this is where we're headed, and something as like a Google would believe in us to do that,
Yeah. Talk about being in the right room.
Exactly. In the right room. And, so that's something that sticks out most recently, but just being able to give like over 10,000 young people jobs. And and now many of them are adults, and to be able to see them and
and coming back and giving us opportunities.
Exactly. Back and hooking us up, and we were the plug for them, and now they're the plug for us.
Yeah.
Full circle and feels extraordinary. So we know we're also both moms, and that builds another complexity when it comes to work. And one of the things that I just love about what we're doing is that as much work as it is and as stressful as it gets at times, it allows us to be mothers to the fullest.
Right.
We don't have to miss ceremony. We don't have, we can drop our kids off at school and pick them up at school if that's what we want to do,
Right.
In a situation that's forcing us to be away from our children, and we're very, very involved. We're raising stars. That's this whole segment and
right.
Segments. We are raising stars, and you have a young, brilliant Shaquille Jackson. And so I know so many people probably ask you, how did you get him involved in this and even wanting to start his own organization?
Right.
He's still a kid, and he's, doing speaking engagements and acting and modeling and everything in between. So give us some tips since our babies are much younger on How did you like get him focused into this and help him get into these situations?
Honestly, he got us focused. Like we had, you know, he's 13 now. So when he was 5, he had his real first experience of sorrow. And, you know, he saw homeless people when he went to go feed them with my aunt. And he came home and he asked us, can we buy them all a house? And we was like, no, that don't make sense. But he's 5, he don't know. And so for the next few years, like he literally would tear up when he would see people on the street. Like I felt like I was getting in trouble if we didn't have money in the car to be able to get some, because he'd be like, Mom, we don't have money. And he's so mad and everything. And when he was 8 years old, we was like, look, he's an only child. We're super excited that he really cares about other people. That was the main component, that he really showed a compassion for other people, because he's a traditional only child. He's really self-absorbed. But to see that he had this genuine want to help homeless people, we had to figure out how to help him do it. But we had no idea that it would turn into, you know, this thing that it's turned into. I thought it was going to be a one-time thing. Like, all right, you know.
You sit on the black couch, you know.
I know. So he just thought about, we challenged him with the question, like, what do you want to do besides buy a house? Because we can't buy a house. So what is it that you think that you can do at 8 years old that can help them? And he said he didn't want to do food, because most times everybody does food. So he wanted to do something that would last a little longer. And he wanted to do something that would go beyond Christmas and Thanksgiving, like, you know, the typical holidays. He wanted to do something that was just, he felt more meaningful. So he came up with the idea of doing toiletry items, because you can use soap more than once. You can use the shampoo or the hand sanitizer or what, you know, these things is in the bags. You can use that more than once. So did a blessing bag, what do we call it, event at a kid-friendly place. And the kids came and they put together, you know, they played video games and all that stuff. And then at the end, they put together 88 blessing bags. And London was there. And once he did that, the next day, went to go drop him off at a shelter. And he just felt so accomplished. And then he was like, so when we doing it again? I was like, wait a minute. What you mean again? Like, so, and that's kind of like how it went. And it's the same thing with how we do with TrueStar. We listen to what they say. We follow their lead versus, you know, putting our, you know, we're there to guide, but we're there to help bring their dreams to light. Exactly. And I think that TrueStar was a great training ground for me as a mom, because it helped me understand, and I'm still learning now, but, you know, helped me understand how to deal with a child. And now that he's coming into the teen years, which is the age group that we work with TrueStar, when I go into that mom mode, I try to remember when I was 13. I try to remember what some, you know, TrueStar students have shared with us about things that they're going through, and try to put myself in his position and not be so, you know, like helicopter. And so, you know, just go like total crazy. But it's interesting being able to having to balance the thing. And I don't understand how on earth you do it with 3 back to back. Like, that's like, you are the champion of the world, because I only got 1. But I think that it helps that, you know, we have husbands who are very supportive, who are there to help us carry this load. And with Jaquil, you know, after he started doing his, he started the organization, word just kind of got out, and people just started reaching out and wanted to volunteer and donate and help. And, you know, it just kind of spiraled into this thing that we had no idea. And I think the turning point was for him when Barack Obama named him one of 2017's most influential people. And we were like, what? Jaquil, like, okay. But it was amazing, because it brought so much light to the organization and to him and what he was doing, that made other people reach out. So then it wasn't us sitting down, like with us with TrueStar. We didn't sit down with a strategic plan. Exactly. We were just literally answering emails. We were just answering emails and letting it come to us. And a lot of times now what I see with parents, they're trying to figure out, how do I get my child there. And I think the difference is it's not intentional with us, and it's not intentional with TrueStar, for example. Like with TrueStar, young people were flooding our emails, and we couldn't even take on the amount, the volume that was coming in. And it's the same thing with what Jaquil has going on. It's very rare that we reach out to someone on his behalf. It's usually people reaching out saying, hey, you know, we want to interview Jaquil, or we want to partner with Jaquil, or give him a donation, just because they really love the things that he's doing. And I think that it's so important that we are raising a young Black man in Chicago. Like, he is the total opposite of what the media will have you thinking about young kids in Chicago. I mean, young urban kids everywhere, but specifically Chicago. Something about Chicago.
Right.
You're gonna get shot, or you shooting somebody, and that's it. That's all you got in Chicago. So for him to be able to be this this example for young people across the country, it's amazing to be able to parent that. And then it's also a headache, because it's just a lot. It's like he's a second full-time job. I got like a full head of gray hair messing around with him.
I think it's a testament to, you know, really talking to your kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, parenting is about engaging. You know, when you engage with your children, they will let you know what fire is burning inside them, what they care, what they're thinking, you know, and then you take that and you pour into it, and then what happens? It flourishes.
Right.
You know, and I think as parents, that's the thing we have to do. We have to really take time,
listen
to our children, and I think that's something that we've done so successfully at TrueStar, that we listen to young people.
Yeah.
When they told us the magazine wasn't connecting, I thought I was gonna like pass out.
Right. You know how much work we put into this?
Exactly. Especially just being a magazine girl.
Yeah.
Period. Like, when the box would come, it would just be like a light would shine.
It's just like, oh.
You know, and so now to like go into this digital space, which is different, it's interesting, but it's kind of like throwing a pebble into the ocean and trying
right.
Like, you really have to figure out, and we're still figuring it out. But I think if we hadn't listened to young people in 2018, in hindsight, with the pandemic,
where
would we be? Like, if we weren't digital right now, we would be in much more of a conundrum than we are. I mean, we were pretty seamlessly shift remote, shift online, and still serve, you know, over 100 young people through the pandemic. And I think that's a testament to us listening.
And if you think about it, if we were still doing a magazine in 2020, for example, and we depended on distributing in schools, there's no more school. Right. So we sitting on product that we cannot move.
Get it to people, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that was totally the right move, and listening was the right thing. So even at times when young people tell you things and it's not what you want to hear, you have to sit in it and be like,
right,
no, I don't want to hear this, but is this really the right thing to do? And I think it's the same thing with our children. You may have one vision for what they may want to do, or what, you know, what dreams you may have, but you have to really sit and listen to them and help them do that. So
is that hard because you have, they're 4, 5, and 10? 4, 5, and 9.
5, 6, and 9.
5, 6, 9. 5, 6. Okay. First of all,
right.
And all girls.
All girls.
Oh my goodness. You know, when I had Jaquil, I wanted a girl so bad. Mm-hmm. And when I found out that he was a boy, I was like, what are we going to do with a boy? But it was so cool. It's turned out to be so cool because I don't have to worry about hair and, you know, just those different things.
What you need. And I think, like, even my girls, being that I was kind of like this tomboy type girl, and they're like, they about to be doing my hair. Like, like, mommy, why don't you wear these shoes? Put on this shirt. You know, so they're totally going to be styling me.
They're stylish.
They are the girly girls. And, you know, I'm still learning and you know, figuring it out, so to speak.
Yeah.
But again, I do try to, listen to them. And, my 5-year-old told me recently that she didn't want to do gymnastics anymore. She wanted to do karate.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, okay, we could finish out the session and try something new. So just something simple like that.
Yeah.
And then just shifting and putting her into what she's, they all like to draw, for the most part. I've been an artist or had any inclination to like draw or paint or anything, and they're all over that, kind of accepting who they are as humans and as, spirits, and just trying to facilitate that. But you definitely created a high bar.
But the thing that you're doing, like anytime when Jaquil would mention anything that he might be interested in, we were like, okay, let's find a class.
Right.
Because like you said, like you're not an artist. So I would say, well, I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Let's put him somewhere where and he can figure out if he really likes it. Because I think like specifically, and I learned that from TrueStar, because if you're participating in all these different programs, you can see what you do like and what you don't like. Right. And at least you won't go to school thinking you want to be a writer or, whatever. And you spend 4 years getting a journalism degree. You don't even like to write. And now what? So why not start them when they're 4, 5, 3 years old and seeing what they gravitate to? Because then you can put your energy towards that. And then they're kids, so they're going to change their mind. Because Jaquil could wake up tomorrow and be like, I don't want to do none of this no more. And I would be totally fine with it because I would love to have my life back. But but it's like you said, like listening to them, I think it's a real skill because I didn't grow up like that. Like my mother was like, you do what I say. Case closed. I don't care.
Right.
Don't get pregnant.
Exactly.
That was it, And it was like, okay. And I just knew if and when I became a parent, I didn't want to take that route because I think that young people are like, I had something to say. I had an opinion. That don't mean that my opinion is always going to be, followed or valid, listened to, but allow that voice. Like we have to allow them to speak because as young people, they're young for such a small percentage of their life. So they're training to be adults right now. So why silence them when they're 3, 4, 13, 14, 16 years old and then turn 21 and just expect them to be ready? And it's like, no, you gotta be working, letting them their mind wander and figure out what they like. And if they like it, if they say they like it, she says she want to try karate. Cool, let's go try karate. Kick down some stuff, break some stuff. Right. She might, kill it. You have no idea. But if you don't listen to her, she will never know.
Right. Well, I think this has been wonderful. I think, just having such a phenomenal Black woman as a partner, as a friend, as someone that I can go to as a fellow mother.
Yeah.
I just cherish it, and you said about voice, and I think that is the part is about amplifying voice and giving young people voice, and that's what TrueStar has done for the past 16 years.
Yes.
So, what we want is all of our supporters, all of our viewers to seed into TrueStar, to donate and continue to allow us to really empower young people and empower their voice and give them these skills they need so they can, make their dreams come true. I always say TrueStar is a dream factory.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true and we are raising stars. So Na-Tae, close us out and just tell us, what advice or just parting words you would leave to other women entrepreneurs, other marketers, just women trying to be their best and raise the best young person they can to become a star.
It's 2 things. And it's actually one thing that you say, and then one thing that Jaquil says, my son says. You always say you can't be what you can't see. So if you don't give them exposure to whatever that is that they're trying to see, they're not going to be able to see themselves in it. So the key thing I would say from our conversation to take away today is to listen to your child. Listen to the young person who you're working with, whether you're mentoring them, whether it's your child, whatever it is. But, you have to listen to them because they matter. Their voice matters. And regardless if it's about karate, if it's about starting a business, if it's about they want to switch classes, whatever it is, just hear them out so that they can understand that they matter, that their voice counts, and that their opinion counts. And the other thing is that Jaquil started this saying, don't wait to be great. Right. And it's so dope because whether you 3, 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, it applies, because you can decide when you're 42 years old that you want to do a total career shift. Exactly. And it's fine. Don't wait for it, because if you get caught up waiting, then it's never going to happen. And if you're 3, you're 5, you're 10, you're 12 years old, why do you have to wait until you're an adult to do whatever great thing it is you're trying to do? Try to figure it out now. So I just think the key thing is to listen, and to try your best to help them and have patience and understand that, they're young. They have a lot more life to live, and we are here to guide them. And yeah, be on the lookout for the next True Star.
Because we are raising stars.
Yes.
Every month, and we want to make sure we can continue to raise stars. So we need everyone to go to elevate.truestarfoundation.org and donate. No amount is too small. $1, $5, $10 or more. It doesn't matter. Let's invest in our young people, especially as summer is approaching. Thank you, Ms. Na-Tae Thompson. This is a conversation. And this is Women's History Month, Raising Stars.